The purpose of this presentation is to inform you of some of the details of the Poa annua control program and the irrigation demo hole that we will be working on this year. It is our goal to provide the members of Park Ridge Country Club with the best possible playing conditions and to continually improve the great golf course that you currently enjoy. A solid stand of bent grass fairway turf is a common objective of upscale golf courses throughout the country, especially in the Midwest. Even though the fairways were reseeded during the renovation in 2002, there's a significant population of Poa annua, or annual bluegrass, that contaminates the fairways at Park Ridge Country Club. At most venues, Poa annua is simply an undesirable weedgrass. Poa annua, commonly referred to as simply Poa, is undesirable because of its susceptibility to diseases and heat stress. Poa is usually not a very deep-rooted plant, and as a result, Poa requires much more water than bent grass to survive the heat of the summer. Bent grass, because of its deeper root system, requires far less water, which ultimately provides firmer playing conditions for greater ball roll that the players desire. Poor drought tolerance and disease susceptibility of Poa are key characteristic problems that turf managers have been battling for decades. In the heat of summer, Poa is a temperamental grass which oftentimes is on the edge of death and ultimately costs more money to manage. Poa annua will outcompete bent grass in a variety of conditions, but wet soils are where Poa annua has the greatest advantage. Poorly drained soils are prime areas for Poa annua invasion. Whether a turf is seeded or sodded for establishment, if the area is not well drained, it's only a matter of time before Poa annua will soon take over. Inaccurate irrigation is another key dynamic where a poor watering system will promote Poa annua over bent grass. If the uniformity of the irrigation system is inaccurate, the water distribution will produce wet spots and dry spots in the area covered within a single sprinkler. The longer the duration of the dry period where the turf is at the mercy of a poor watering system, the more the water distribution imperfections compound themselves, causing the dry areas to get drier and the wet areas to get wetter. Inevitably, it is a recipe for Poa annua invasion. Poa annua reproduces mainly by seed, and although the most prolific seed production occurs during mid-May, Poa annua will produce seed all season long. The number of seeds in the soil can reach 1,200 seeds per square inch, and the seeds can stay viable for 10 years or longer. Seeds are constantly being transferred by people, animals, equipment, and weather, which keeps the battle for eradication ongoing. Drainage improvements are an ongoing project. On a relatively flat golf course like Park Ridge Country Club, there's continually room for improvement. Over the past several years, many problem areas have been corrected, but after moderate to heavy rain events, it still takes a considerable amount of time before the golf course is void of standing water. Financially, the club is years away from upgrading to a modern wall-to-wall irrigation system. We are fortunate to have the opportunity to install a demo or test hole on a key part of the golf course for such a minimal cost. To make a long story short, courses throughout the country have been installing watering systems which have adopted the wall-to-wall designs developed for courses in desert regions. No longer are courses with these types of systems dependent on rainfall to maintain superior quality. In addition to utilizing superior desert-type design, we will be installing the newest in technology in terms of controls, electronics, and sprinklers. Also underground, the type of piping being used will be the way of the future. HDPE pipe, or high-density polyethylene, will take the place of the old standard PVC pipe. HDPE pipe has been around for quite some time, but it was not commonly used in golf courses because the cost was about 20% higher to install. The pipe sections of HDPE are not glued. They are melted or bonded together, resulting in a pipe that has the strength and properties of one continuous length without a joint. Installation methods have improved to the point where installation costs do not differ much from the cost of PVC installation, and golf courses are switching to HDPE because of superior strength and flexibility. PVC is brittle, where HDPE is stronger, more flexible, and trouble-free. We are confident that it will not take long in the heat and drought to witness the positive difference that accurate irrigation coverage can make. With cutting-edge irrigation and acceptable drainage on one hole of the golf course, a realistic POA control program can be initiated, at least on a small scale. The population of the poa annua in the different fairways at Park Ridge varies, but it is estimated that the average fairway contains over 50% poa annua. The outside edge or perimeter of the fairway contains the highest concentrations of poa annua. This is caused from the constant compaction during the cleanup pass of the fairway mowers, mainly from the tires of the traction unit and the twisting and turning of the mower cutting units themselves. Compaction favors POA whether it is from mowers, golf carts, or foot traffic. These types of high POA concentrations are common with older golf courses and are the areas that will be the most challenging to convert. A relatively new tool for battling poa annua is called Velocity. Velocity is a selective herbicide that kills poa annua within a stand of bent grass. The chemical has been on the market for several years, but it has not been until recently that turf managers and researchers have consistent and proven data to execute a conservative conversion approach. The chemical does selectively kill POA, but for clubs like ours with fairly high populations, large areas of dead turf from a quick kill during the heart of the golf season is too much for most of the membership to experience aesthetically. Through trial and error, varied application rates and number of applications per season have been tried and predictable results are consistent. Slower, more gradual conversions with less negative use from clientele from discoloring have been successful with comfort levels that are acceptable to players. Velocity will be used to chemically control poa annua at Park Ridge Country Club this year, starting in May, and once again on a fairly limited basis. There are a couple reasons why we were only going small scale. First and foremost, if a golf course successfully converts their fairways to bent grass where the drainage and irrigation are not sufficient, POA will reinvade quickly and turf populations will once again be contaminated by poa annua. This season we plan to work with the par 3s and a newly improved 18th hole. The amount of acreage on the par 3s is small enough that our crew does not need to rely on the current 2-row sprinkler design and can hand water these areas regularly to achieve the correct water distribution and uniformity that is needed for a successful conversion. In addition, if periods of slight to moderate discoloration occur, the impact will not be very significant if limited to only the par 3s in a section of one par 4. The conservative or slow conversion program that we will research is expected to take a year or two to increase the bent grass populations to the desired levels of 95% or better. Once we achieve the desired results, those fairways will really excel in performance while requiring less chemicals and a fraction of the water to survive. In a couple of years' time, with proper irrigation and the absence of poa annua on the 18th hole, the conditions that we will be able to produce will be second to none and provide a memorable setting to the scenic finishing hole and year-round at the Park Ridge Country Club. Progress of the conversion program, as well as other important grounds maintenance activities, will soon be able to be tracked using a blog site. Look in the Course Conditions section of the Park Ridge Country Club website. We're very excited about the activities that are planned for the 2010 season. The steps taken and the information learned will be extremely valuable for years and years to come.